Welcome back to Girl Talk. As promised, we are going to talk to you a little bit about oil changes. We'll get some basics from the masters over here at Conant Automotive. And joining me is Joe himself. And how are you doing today?
Great.
So, we got to pick your brain as usual about some car things that we've got questions about.
Sure.
So what I want to know today is kind of give us some basics about oil changes. Everybody needs them.
Right.
So walk us through just some real basic things about what you're doing when we come in and get an oil change.
Well, it's pretty basic. What we do is obviously we just get the vehicle in the air, and we do a lot of basics up above as far as checking all the lights. We go through a simple, write down a list here as far as what we should check and so on, just to make sure everything is safe on your vehicle. We check as far as the suspension goes, we check the rear shocks, the front struts. We make sure there's no oil leaks, make sure the exhaust is intact and where it should be. Just check out the basic integrity of the underneath the vehicle, along with like the rust condition that happens in Wisconsin.
Okay.
We take a look at the tires, tell you the condition of the tires, just basically tell you the condition of the integrity of the whole vehicle. So
there's a lot more to an oil change than just the oil change.
yeah, it's not just simple as just pulling the plug and changing the filter. No,
Right.
You got to check things out. A lot of people make mistakes by, it's fun to do your own oil change at home, but there's things that you just can't check when you're rolling underneath your vehicle in your garage on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, being able to get underneath the car like this, for one, has to be beneficial. I would have no idea what I'd be looking for, but being able to be under here and get the full picture. And talk to me a little bit, you mentioned that you look for rust. So how common is that being in Wisconsin after a long winter?
Well, the biggest thing is not so much the rust of the body panels, but like the rust of the brake lines.
Okay.
Especially the brake lines, because there's not an indicator on your dash saying my brake lines are rusty and they're about to blow.
Right.
So when we look at the brake lights like on this vehicle, they're hidden up underneath here, but we look at those, and if there's bad spots, we'll let the customer know. It's like, okay, you got to keep an eye on this.
Right.
And it's getting to be more and more common now because people are driving their cars, 100, 200,000 miles,
Right.
and it's
a good
starting
thing,
to catch up. Right.
But yeah, absolutely, those are some of those safety things that we might not know to look for.
Right.
And we might not know to ask those questions whether or not our shop is checking for those things. So
Exactly.
awesome. Okay. Well, good pointers. Kind of walk me through just the process of an oil change. I really don't know what you do.
Well, now that the vehicle's up in the air, so half of it's actually done. We do a lot of checks when the vehicle's done. We check all the fluid conditions levels, top off the washer fluid, check all the lights, check the wipers, just basically check all the things that need to be looked at that you probably overlook. When the technician starts, he'll start by draining the oil, taking the filter out. We'll basically note the condition of the oil too, because a lot of times if you got like a leak as far as coolant leak into the engine, the antifreeze would come out first. So it's good to note the condition of the oil. If it's really sludgy, maybe advise the customer that they have to get their oil changed more frequently other than what they're doing now.
Yeah.
We look at like the condition of the hoses, especially like the radiator hoses going to the radiator, make sure that they're in good shape, not leaking.
Okay.
Just the biggest thing, like I like to stress, is doing maintenance versus repairs. Because let's say if we did this oil change and just kind of blew through it, and the customer takes it and they're on their way to work, or they're coming back from the grocery store on a Sunday night and the radiator hose fails, or something else happens that we should have seen when we did the oil change, well, that's the important thing. So I mean, yeah, an oil change, if you're paying like a $20 oil change, that's what you're getting.
Right.
But if you pay,
you get what you pay for.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, they're not looking at the things that need to be looked at.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, in our shop here, we're going to note everything, and sometimes we may be high, but we're not the one that's going to judge it. The customer's going to be judging what they want to fix on their vehicle.
Absolutely.
And if we didn't tell them what's going on, we're not doing a good job.
So you're going to make those recommendations
Right.
on all facets of the vehicle based on
Correct.
what you're seeing while you're doing the oil change.
Yeah.
And that's really what's, I think, important, because a lot of us, me, guilty, bring their vehicle in when they need an oil change or when their check engine light's on. And other than that, that's about it as far as when
Right.
you're going to get things looked
And,
at. So
and like with the 29-minute oil changes, like a lot of companies try to promote, you can't do a thorough job. You really can't. I mean, yeah, you're getting what you pay for and you want it done fast. Well, the old saying, haste makes waste, exactly.
absolutely.
I just soon take 45 minutes or an hour, check the vehicle out complete, and then let the customer know that, yeah, you're good to go, or yeah, you got to address these problems.
Absolutely.
And it just makes sense.
And that's always a good reminder when we're talking to you is, it's really about staying on top of it and getting ahead of those repairs, trying to get the longevity out of your vehicle, rather than waiting until something is wrong,
right,
or something has gone terribly wrong. That's when the expense really goes up as well.
Oh yeah, it goes up a lot.
Yeah.
Double, triple, whatever, but it's nice to know, it's nice to know if you're going to have a problem versus, oh my God, I'm going to wake up to a problem.
Right, absolutely. And I got another question about oil changes while we're on the topic. So some of the newer vehicles, mine isn't really all that new. I've got over 100,000 miles on my car, but I do have the notification of when I need an oil change. So it actually tells me percentage of time to oil change. So tell me a little bit about the difference there if you can, because it tells me I need an oil change long after the recommended mileage. What are your thoughts?
I really, and this is my personal experience, whatever, my years in the business, I would ignore it.
Really?
If a customer asked me that, I would ignore it. I would stick to your mileage versus that percentage.
Okay.
It's just, I like mileage.
Yeah.
I'm from the old school, and yeah, we do either 4,500, or if you run the full synthetic, go 6. But I don't really believe in that. But the manufacturers say, they spend a lot of time and money, and the dealerships may, say that, do this. But I think it's going to come back to haunt them.
Well,
I really
think
do.
The other element there too is if you're a procrastinator like myself, what happens is you wait until it tells you you need an oil change. You may already be really past the time that you need an oil change, and then however many days or sometimes weeks then still goes by,
right,
and you're running out of bad oil. So
well, I mean, if for just quickly on that oil, if somebody can't, if you went out and bought a brand new vehicle today and you wanted to keep it for 150 or 200,000 miles, maybe that might be a lot to you, but I would suggest running a full synthetic oil right from the beginning. Change it every 6,000 miles. Don't worry about that indicator as far as percentage, and you'll get the life out of that engine. I mean, the products that they're building nowadays are superior to even what they built 5 years ago.
Okay.
So
Great
just
point,
keep up the
Joe.
maintenance.
Well, thank you so much for walking me through it. I greatly appreciate it. If you need some pointers, come on out to Stoughton and check out Conant Automotive. Joe's the master. Thanks to Joe, thanks to all our guests, and thank you for watching. Please join us next time.